Good day and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. In this video we're going to talk a little bit about extraction and when should you be extracting your gear and essentially what to do with it. Now, extraction is when you take a piece of gear and you extract a equipment core from it. Now what this essentially means is you extract a little kind of resource from gear depending on its grade and its level. Now, if you were to extract, for example, this pair, well, you can't extract anything below level 70, and if you were to extract a level 70 sword, for example, you would get a certain amount of cores. As you can see there, we get 2 of them, whereas if we were to extract a blue level 70 sword, we get less than the purple sword. And then if we were to extract, for example, a level 85 red sword, we would get 10 cores. So it scales with both the tier of the equipment and the actual grade of the equipment. Level 85 or tier 6 gear giving the highest number, and of course the gear being, or grade being red, giving the most. But what this means is, for example, blue, purple and red level 85 gear is worth exactly the same in terms of extraction. Pretty much you get 7, 9 or 10 cores. Now what do you use them for? Well, extraction cores ideally are used in 2 ways. Firstly, and the main way in which I use them, is equipment charms and accessory charms. These can be constructed with your cores and they become a much more efficient utilization of cores and equipment for an EXP enhance gain. You lose out on gold because you're not selling the gear, but in terms of the net EXP gain that you obtain, they're much better. Now in terms of equipment conversion is the second method, and here what you do is you're able to craft certain gear sets. You will need a modification, or sorry, a conversion gem. These can be obtained from equipment chests, automaton tower, etc. And what you can do is you can take these gems, and these gems will determine the main stat of the piece of gear, and then you can apply equipment cores to that piece of gear, and that will give you a chance at proccing that set. Now if you fill up the whole set with, for example, health, then essentially you're good to go. There are other things, but these have nothing to do with gear extraction, basically. Now a big thing when it comes to extraction is when should you extract gear. Now as I mentioned earlier, there is one main reason to extracting gear. For example, when we are trying to upgrade our gear. Creating those charms is a net EXP positive, and you should only ever consider extracting cores when you are A, looking to obtain greater charms, and B, looking to convert a certain set. So the first rule is only ever extract if you're going to be crafting in or quite a few items of a similar type. The reason being is for both conversion and for creating charms, you actually need a large quantity of similar gems. You can't have a whole bunch of smaller quantities across the board. You actually need mainly a larger quantity in the same equipment, the same typing, etc. Now let's talk about extraction. Generally speaking, you should only ever extract level 85 gear. So if you're picking up gear from hunts themselves or from story or anything like that, everything below level 85 should be sold. Now the big loss of not selling gear is not getting gold back, right? So you craft gear, generally speaking, you don't get gold back, which means it's a net gold loss. However, the EXP gain is quite substantial. For example, if we take a look there, we would have got 60 cores. Now you need 100 cores to get the max quality out of a upgrade for a gem. So we would have got 60 cores around 0.6 of the way, or we could have got 100k gold and 4,500 EXP for a sword. Instead, if we'd exchanged all of that in and added in a couple more cores, we get close to over 12,000 EXP for swords. So essentially you're trading, to cut a long story short, to make the math simple, you are trading in around 300k gold, because you have to craft the gear as well, for roughly around 12,000 EXP in terms of equipment enhance. Generally speaking, that's something that I would consider quite good, because you need to upgrade gear. It's one of the most important aspects of the game. However, I would only ever do this until the point where I have the charms done. The only other reason to extract gear from that point onwards is to then gain certain cores for certain equipment. So generally it's good to double up. What you should do is, if you're going to craft gear, let's say I'm crafting a speed helmet, I will only ever extract speed helmets. I will extract speed helmets, speed helmets, speed helmets, speed helmets, speed helmets, build up a huge amount of speed helmet cores, use those for gems, and then start converting them into gear. Alternatively, I can focus on maybe 2 at one time. So you can focus on speed and crit. For example, if you're farming Wyvern, that is generally it. Other times, I will simply just focus on set pieces that I need. So if I'm not really looking to upgrade gear, I will start to sell it, and then I will only really focus on situations where I need a certain piece. For example, immunity sets. That's really it. So the number one goal with extraction is to get your gems. Once you've obtained your gems for the week, you then need to consider, are you going to be converting? If you're not converting gear anytime soon or going to focus on it, honestly, just selling the gear is 9 times out of 10 the better option. So definitely consider doing that. And then, of course, like I said, if you aren't interested in the charms, just continue to sell the gear. That's the only 2 reasons you need to extract cores, and it's far better to be more focal on cores than anything else. So like I say, rather focus on just one kind of core to make your life easier. But that's it when it comes to extraction. Hopefully this helps you guys out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye.